You know the big British rock bands of the 70s, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Deep Purple, Queen, Stones, Who, Bad Company, Black Sabbath, and on and on and on. But this is your crash course in British acts that has been largely forgotten by mainstream media, or never even made it at all. See how many of these you actually know. Meet Stray, a working-class, London-formed rock outfit. Their sound blended blues, psychedelia, and hooky riffs. Very hooky riffs. They were signed by Transatlantic Records, a UK label that specialised in folk rock, like Ralph McTell. Their first album included the 9-minute track All In Your Mind, which was later covered by Iron Maiden. And believe it or not, in the early days, bands like UFO, Judas Priest and Motorhead all opened for Stray at gigs as well. Martin Birch even produced one of their albums, yes, the Martin Birch that worked on Machine Head and Rainbow Rising and most of Maiden's albums in the 80s to name but a few. And here's a twist you probably wouldn't expect. At one point they were managed by Charlie Cray, older brother of the infamous London gangsters Ronnie and Reggie Cray. That connection brought headline chatter but also a bit of baggage. A great band but just couldn't get that break they needed. For fans of rock who like riffs, unpolished riffs, then these are a deep gem that are worth a listen. They released several albums, my favourite being Suicide, which came out in 1971. I'll highlight the track Nature's Way as one for you to check out. Now remember, I can't play long parts of songs because of the YouTube copyright algorithm police. They're out in force at the moment, handing out strikes and bans left, right and centre. So you'll just have to make do with the little snippets I can fit in. Before there was Genesis, there was a band called Family. They mixed prog, art rock, folk, blues and psychedelia, with the standout of course being the brilliant frontman Roger Chapman. His voice was a weapon itself, distinctive, raw and rough. The group had many fantastic musicians pass through, including John Wetton, who left to join King Crimson and then go on to Roxy Music, Uriah Heep, UK and Asia, among many others. There was Rick Gretsch, who played in Blind Faith and Traffic. There was Jim Cregan, who also was a member of the band. He worked with the likes of Rod Stewart, wrote many hits with him, and he played with Steve Harley, Cockney Rebel as well. Now, Family had chart success in the UK, 7 top 40 albums, including 3 top 10s. In My Own Time was also a big single for them, going top 5 in 1971. Now, the track I'm going to highlight for you, though, my favourite from the band, comes from their debut album, Music in a Doll's House. The track is called Peace of Mind. And don't forget, let me know below how many of these great bands do you actually remember? What's your memories of them? Do you have favourite albums or tracks, that kind of thing? Or alternatively, if you've never heard of these bands, please let me know too. Plus, don't forget to like and subscribe and press that hype button thingy that seems to have appeared on YouTube lately. Bebop Deluxe, led by Bill Nelson, was a band walking the line between glam and art rock, and prog, and eventually new wave before new wave existed, perhaps. Bill and the group brought us beautiful melodies with a twist of experimentation. They left their mark in the UK with albums like Sunburst Finish and Modern Music, both going top 20, and then 1978's Drastic Plastic peaked at number 22. Ships in the Night was a big single as well, reached number 23 in 1976. Again though, the lack of synergy between band and label was apparent. Their early tours of the US included opening spots for Lynyrd Skynyrd and Ted Nugent, which wasn't exactly a great mix. And I read an interview once with Bill who said that Nugent was difficult and basically blanked the band the whole time. As for a starting point, if you're new to the band, many would probably say Sister Seagull, but my favourite track comes from the same record, 1975's Futurama. Check out the song Made in Heaven, some great guitar work on there. Now let's talk Geordie, a band that had real UK chart success and a connection that you already know. Their vocalist was none other than Brian Johnson. Yes, that one. Formed in Newcastle, hence the name, in 1971, they went on to achieve chart success before a certain someone left for pastures new. The band were a mix of hard rock and glam rock, and many always compared them to Slade and Sweet. Their first single to break through was Don't Do That, which hit number 32 in 1972, followed by All Because of You peaking at 6, Can You Do It peaked at number 13, and Electric Lady also peaked at 32. They found success across Europe as well, with hits in Germany, Belgium, Denmark, Ireland and the Netherlands. So for you today, I'm going to offer up the track Can You Do It as one to check out this time. At 6, we've got Budgie, a Welsh power trio whose influence far outstrips their commercial success. Their style bridged hard rock, proto-metal and melody in a way that later bands leaned on. In the UK, they never scored a top 10 single, but their albums and reputation in the British rock underground gave them a strong cult following. In for the Kill and Bandolier both went top 40 in the mid-70s. They did have US distribution through labels like A&M, but they didn't really translate into mainstream radio play or chart success. Their sound is lean but muscular, heavy riffs, dynamic shifts and solid hooks. Plus they write some brilliant song titles like Nude Disintegrating Parachutist Woman, Hot as a Docker's Armpit, and Crash Course in Brain Surgery, which Metallica would later cover. They have a discography worth exploring, but I'll offer up the accessible and probably most recognisable track, Bread Fan, for you to check out. Next up is Barclay James Harvest, a band that walked that line between rock, symphonic touches and emotional balladry. They weren't a bombastic hard rock band, but they had staying power, strong melodies and a presence in UK and European rock circles. In the UK, they delivered multiple charting albums, with 6 hitting the top 40. Their strength lay in albums rather than hit singles, building a real dedicated fan base, but in Europe, they did hit the singles charts with a number 1 in Switzerland, and they had top 5 hits in France and Germany too. But in the US, well, their name remains nearly invisible, despite one song, Titles, landing at 107 on the chart in 1975. Musically, Barclay James Harvest had a duality. Some tracks lean towards lush ballads with orchestration, while others have real rock backbone. Their catalogue rewards listeners who want substance over flash. My favourite song comes from the 1974 album Everyone Is Everybody Else, with the sprawling, building, brooding, atmospheric, hypnotic track For No One. Now let's move to Trapeze, a British hard rock band with a soul edge and important links to rock royalty. Formed in 1969, the original members included Glenn Hughes, who left to join Deep Purple in 1973. There's Dave Holland, who played with Judas Priest from 79 to 89, appearing on all their platinum albums like British Steel and Screaming for Vengeance. And there was Mel Galley, a guitarist who joined Whitesnake and played on their albums Saints and Sinners and Slide It In. Trapeze had modest success in the UK and Europe, but had much revered and later seen as cult classic albums. They struck that balance between groove, rock attitude and occasional funk sensibility. Their records show a band willing to experiment. There's heavier moments, there's soulful vocals, there's guitar interplay. You'll find hidden layers if you dig into their albums Medusa, You Are the Music, We're Just a Band, and Hotwire. As for a track to check out, I was torn between 2. Medusa would probably be the obvious choice, but I'll steer you to Backstreet Love from the album Hotwire from 1972. It's got balls and blues, and I like it. Next up, another band from Wales, Man, the Welsh collective that didn't care much for strict genre boundaries. Psychedelia, folk, rock, long impromptu jams. They embraced all musical exploration. They once said that they positioned themselves between the space prog of Nectar and the acid-fried rock of Quicksilver Messenger Service. In the UK and Europe, they had respect and a following for their adventurousness, with 3 top 40 studio albums, Back into the Future, Rhinos, Winos and Lunatics, and a Welsh connection here in the UK. Now, listening to Man is like following a musical journey. Some tracks drift, others punch hard. They even had a song called Erotica, which is, what you would think it would be given the name. Think Je T'aime, but rockier. And yes, it got banned in the UK, unsurprisingly. Picking a track to recommend is difficult because they do vary so wildly, from your 12-15 minute jams to 2-minute instrumentals, so I'll just say one that I really like. I'm going to take it from the album 2 Ounces of Plastic with a Hole in the Middle. Check out the track, Spunk Box. This is one of those hidden gems that rock collectors obsess over, Leafhound. Their 1971 album, Growers of Mushroom, is legendary among aficionados, though in mainstream charts they barely registered. Their rarity, their mystique, their scarcity all contribute to the allure now. But if you listen, you'll find rich textures, strong blues, hard rock fusion, and a hint of psychedelic edge. Their frontman, Peter French, went on to find more success with the likes of Atomic Rooster and alongside Carmine Appice in Cactus as well. His raspy, heavy vocals are a standout wherever he plays. To many fans, Leafhound is a why didn't they make it kind of case study. Great potential, almost no exposure. Their celebrated debut album remains a prized vinyl among collectors, and the song I offer you has to be the opening track from that. It's called Freelance Fiend. It's a classic. So, do you own a treasured copy of that album? Had you ever even heard of Leafhound, or Man, or Barclay James Harvest? Remember, let me know in the comments below, and please hit the like button, press the new hype thingy as well, and consider subscribing for hundreds more classic rock deep dives and exclusive interviews right here on the channel. And finally, at number 1, the sensational Alex Harvey Band. Theatrical, bold, unpredictable, with personality to spare. This side of the pond, the sensational Alex Harvey Band had a fierce cult status. Their shows were part rock concert, part drama, part vaudeville. They adopted stage costumes. Their album Tomorrow Belongs to Me went top 10 in 1975, while The Impossible Dream, The Penthouse Tapes, and Saab Stories all went top 20. They even had a top 10 single with a cover of the track Delilah. Boston Tea Party was another big hit for them, along with Gambling Bar Room Blues. Despite this, they barely registered in the US. The band were witty, dark, grand, and gritty all at once. As for a track, I'm going to offer up Midnight Moses from their 1972 album Framed as my favourite.